IMSA is the top sports car championship in North America. They get a lot of factory and manufacturer support for the series. They have very talented drivers that they draw on talent from around the world. The Michelin Pilot Challenge Series accompanies the IMSA WeatherTech Series. It's a great opportunity for drivers to enter into a higher level of competition of sports car racing, grow their skills and improve their skills against better competition. It helps them learn endurance racing, which is another step in the process because you share a car with drivers. It teaches them new skills.
We went into Watkins Glen IMSA race. We knew we had a decent setup for the car, but we had struggled with some fueling issues. We thought maybe it was due to the fuel we were using. And as we went in through the IMSA, or the Watkins Glen weekend, our engineering team started to notice some nuances that started to send us in different directions. We thought, again, we had a fuel issue, so we were constantly in and out of the fuel cell, checking it, scrubbing the cell, cleaning everything out, making sure that the filters were clean, pumps were good.
Gotta get someone or two guys on a suit and to pump it out. Because you're gonna have to get everything out of the cell so we can start going through everything.
The constant in and out of the cell probably brought in more contaminants into the cell. Just the constant opening and closing throughout a weekend. You're doing it quickly because you're trying to do it between sessions, and it eventually led to a high pressure fuel pump fail. All the while we were noticing that we were losing voltage and amperage at the pump. And this is where our engineering team started sending us down the rabbit hole of battery voltage, alternator amperage, and everything that had to do with that. Once we figured out that we needed to keep the batteries completely topped up and charged, we noticed some improvement in the car. We can do longer sessions. But we had the issue where we just didn't have the capacity in the batteries. The alternator was not keeping up with all of the demands of all of the IMSA equipment. Everything that car was demanding throughout a lap was taking a toll on the electrical system and its capacity. And once it got to a certain threshold, fuel would cut out because it was one of the most prevalent things that a driver could feel. But as we looked at the data, power steering was being lost, we were having erratic ABS, and that was causing those issues.
We swapped batteries. We had lots of voltage early on and in qualifying, so we swapped batteries this morning for the race. Just put a brand new battery in, realizing now that the negative terminal seems to be stripped inside the casing of the new battery. So it wasn't holding a charge, wasn't taking very good charge. The car was dead here sitting on the grid, so we jumped in, got a spare battery, testing it out. We may have to quickly tap the threads, make sure they're sticking properly so we can actually get proper connection.
Yeah, we had brake light issues. We had a whole bunch of things that's what started pointing us to the electrical. All in while, because we were going in and out of the fuel cell, we were actually still having fuel issues. We were able to get a hold of the local dealer, Rochester Audi. Obviously it's a Saturday. They don't usually have people at the dealership, but we were able to convince two of their technicians to hop in a demo car that they had in the lot, drive it down the 45 minutes to Watkins Glen to the racetrack. We stole parts off of their brand new Audi and we put them on our race car and we raced with them. And we put those ones on the Tomlinson car, all while the Wilmington car still struggled to have issues. We couldn't use the starter if you had to. You couldn't stall the car. We had to boost the car every time it started to save the battery. You had to keep the car on charge at all times. And if you utilized ABS or if you utilized the radio too much or if you utilized all these components, the battery would deplete. And it was a 2-hour race. And it was next to impossible to fix this issue. We managed the expectations of the drivers going into the race that this is going to be a challenge.
Normally I would maybe be nervous before the race, and I was definitely nervous, but not about the race, not about the competition. I was just nervous about reliability. At that point, I just wanted to drive and have no issues. Didn't care about the results. As long as we can have a decent race, I'll be happy. That'll make up for all the issues that we had at the start of the weekend.
So in the end, the Tomlinson car finished. They finished 1 lap down, just based on a pit stop, but we had the pace to run with the leaders. It was just unfortunate we were a lap down, we could never get that lap back. Could we have challenged? Probably. Nick was really quick in the end, but we could have been a top 5, easily, and that would have been amazing for our debut. The other car we had to retire because of the electrical issues, but we only had 1 week turnaround between Watkins Glen and Mosport. And that's when it was all hands on deck. It was phone calls, it was engineering calls with Germany. There were so many things that were happening in that week, even before we even left Watkins Glen, to solve these issues.
In 2022, IMSA and the Michelin Pilot Challenge Series returned to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the first time in 3 years, and it was a huge welcome back and a great success. It's a wonderful opportunity for the Canadian teams and drivers to show their skills and show their talent in front of their hometown fans.
We're at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park here for the only Canadian round of the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge. It's a back-to-back, which is never easy. Turning over cars quickly, very short time frame between race 1 or weekend 1 and weekend 2 here. Going from a sprint race series to an endurance series takes a lot of work inside the shop and a lot of testing. And I'm really proud of the team and all the work that we've gone through over the last few weeks to repair these cars properly. Fortunately, at Watkins Glen, the 48 car of Ron Tomlinson and Nick Williams was able to run the entire race. Myself and Eddie in the 26 Wilmington car, we were still challenged with some of those fuel issues and electrical issues early on. Move ahead a week, we're at CTMP getting ready for the race. The 26 car has run well throughout the weekend, but the 48 car continues to have struggles. So.
We're about to pull the fuel cell apart and see what it tells us again. Plug in, look at data, keep going, right?
No solutions to our problems. We still have we're nowhere closer to finding out what the issue is, so we can at least address it and try to fix it. And both cars have slightly different problems. 6-car regulator. Frustrating.
We're here at Mosport, still sadly having the same issues as we had last weekend at Watkins Glen. We're kind of dumbfounded, it's very frustrating. Neither driver, neither Ron or I have run any laps really. Like Ron has run a few laps with the issues, like I haven't even sat in the car today yet. Yeah, things are not looking good.
We worked on solutions while we were at CTMP. We went next door to the DET track, the driver development track, where a group was doing a lapping day, and begged, borrowed, and pleaded with them to be able to get a little bit of track time during their lunch session so we could try to shake down that car and see if we could get a car ready for the race for Nick and Ron.
So we only had a few hours to try certain components, to try little things and change things quickly while putting it under load, while getting on track. And you would get a lap or two, and then it would die.
How was that? I did it on the second lap, so first lap felt amazing, but no, it did it right away.
You would change another component, you get a lap or two, and it would die. And we just kept changing stuff, just hoping to get something out of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, weren't able to do it.
We ran out of parts, we ran out of solutions, we couldn't get anything quick enough. Local dealers didn't have anything in hand, because again, it's another brand new car, and we just ran out of parts and ran out of time. And it was heartbreaking to tell the guys, we've run out of options for today.
And that's why we're throwing in the towel now right before the race, because sure, we could go and stand there on false grid in the fan walk, just knowing that the car's not going to work. We don't want to put ourselves through that, and it just sucks.
To be a support team for drivers that were looking to really make their debut and their home country debut at Mosport in the IMSA series, was a big opportunity for them and a big opportunity for all of us, and it was felt right from the engineers to the drivers to the techs to even our truck drivers. It was felt right through the team. It was a challenging moment of
Felt
time.
like we had to quit.
Yeah, but obviously with 2 cars running, there was a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel for us to be able to focus some effort on that Wilmington car on the 26th and see if we could get some results and salvage a good weekend out of that experience.
It was really a priority to showcase the ability of the team, give our team something to look forward to, and show some results. So to be able to qualify 4th place in a professional level championship is really something to show for the hard work and the quality that this team is able to put into these cars and get us on track.
Travis Hill, he's made a couple of moves in the last couple of laps, get himself up into 2nd place in that car of 26 for TWOth Autosport. Travis Hill it is who leads that battle. Brilliant drive by him in that number 26, got that brand new Audi. Didn't show much pace last weekend because there were all sorts of niggly problems.
He's leading the motor race at the moment.
Very cool.
They've got a 1 minute lead on Mason Filippi, who is in 2nd position in TCR, so they're stretching this absolutely as long as they can go.
I'm really proud just to get those results for those guys, show them that the cars they're working on are really fast cars. We have a team and a crew to be able to put this all together, so that first stint was more for those guys. For me, it's more important to show that our teams, our partners, our drivers, and our crew have the ability to perform at this level and really take it to some of these top competitors in North America.